Welcome back. I'm so excited for this new segment we have on Respect Your Game because we get to talk all of the major women's pro leagues with a little creative twist on it. So Casey and I will go through each pro league and give a song that represents them. You could probably do it as a whole. I kind of did it like based in this time right now.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what your picks are, but I will start. So
and we didn't share them with each other.
We did not share them. Yes. No. We're honest. Trust us. So let's start with the WNBA. And for this, I have Lose Control by Teddy Swims. It's those lines that are out of control, out of my mind, out of control, out of my mind. I'm not going to try to sing it here, okay?
I was like, go for it, baby.
We can't play the music, the rights stuff, so I had to sing a little bit of it. But I think Caitlin Clark's return was that. It was out of control, out of mind, and just the shots from so far out, so deep, were just unbelievable. I mean, I literally jumped out of my chair watching it. But then I also think kind of the intensity that we spoke about a little earlier between the players and between these teams, it's a little out of control. It's a little out of my mind in a sense. So there's a lot going on. But I also think on the more positive side, there's a line in this song that says, I don't know myself anymore. And I'm like, that's really what we've seen with the WNBA this season. Yes, there was huge progression last year, but now I'm seeing SportsCenter consistent highlights, not just highlights, consistent highlights post game the next morning on SportsCenter. I'm seeing more social media coverage than we've ever seen before, and just commercials too. Like there's seems to be a WNBA commercial every day that I see, and a new one. So I think doesn't look like their former self. It's a little out of control, both on the good side and on the heated side. But that's what I got for the WNBA. So who's your song for the WNBA?
I loved that so much. It really is so perfect, and I love how you almost kind of went like a little big picture and then narrowed it down to Caitlin Clark's performance, because that's exactly what I did. But AB, how did you feel about 90s rom-coms?
Oh, I mean, I love rom-coms, but I don't know. Test my knowledge.
All right. Do you know a little thing about There She Goes?
Yeah.
There she goes again. That's where I took mine. It
one
doesn't have the
that.
energy level, obviously, of Caitlin Clark being like extremely dominating, but like, there she goes again. It was just like, I think
that's actually perfect. I think I'd take yours over mine.
You would, but like even then, like Ionescu, like you're just competing against the girl, and all you could do is be like, there she goes again. Like it's just one of those things where like you can't not be romantic about what Caitlin Clark is doing for the WNBA, and that's why that's exactly what popped up in my head. There she goes again. Anybody who loves this former 90s tune knows exactly how many times they talk about there she goes again. But like any woman goes again in the WNBA. There's so many great names that are kind of building off of the great performances of last year, carrying it in this year, and just continue to like beef up the momentum that this league is starting to have. So I loved that. And then also the fact of just like, and I just can't contain this feeling that remains. Like you can't shake off what the WNBA is doing. So that's my big picture aspect of it. So yep, there she goes again.
I absolutely love that. And I cannot wait. I hope someone makes like a really cool slow motion reel of the there she goes. But like over and over, it'd be like your rookie start, then like in the playoffs.
We have to put like seasons together.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Okay, well, we just keep coming up with great ideas for the WNBA, I guess.
Once again,
on the
you guys know
marketing
where to
side,
find
on
us,
the creative
so.
media side. All right, I'll go with the PWHL, and I have Hello Seattle by Owl City, and I really went full expansion team here. The only thing that would have made this perfect is if the song was like Hello Pacific Northwest, so we could get a little Vancouver action in there. But I love this song. I grew up in Seattle, and so if you listen to the song, it talks about the water, and it talks about mountains and old lighthouses and manta rays, and I'm like, that's exactly how the Kraken kind of designed their team around, is that like
they've been insane about branding.
Right, branding. And so I'm thinking the exact same thing with PWHL Seattle. It's all going to look exactly like that. And they're playing in Climate Pledge Arena. So I'm going to go Hello Seattle for the PWHL.
Oh, I love that. And you know what? Look, I know we're here for Boston. It's all about Boston. But we can give a little bit of love to the Seattle touch there, because they did take our assistant GM from the Boston Fleet, who is now the GM of Seattle. So, and a couple of our key girls as well.
A few of our key girls as well.
That was, you want to talk about heartbreak. Boston's
I'm happy for them. That's my perspective on it. I'm like, I'm happy for them. Yes. Seattle's a cool city. It's a new opportunity, but like, shoot, man.
Product of Boston. We had them. We loved them. We were a part of big moments with them.
We had a good thing going. Oh my gosh. It needs to be like the thing.
Yeah.
The title of this show. We had a good thing going.
maybe we'll write a song about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so mine is one of the new little bops. It's Just Keep Watching by Tate McRae. And I picked that one because PWHL as a whole, like we had 2 expansion teams going on, and there's talks of how they're going to be able to continue to branch out and build this. And it's just like the support that they are getting from the NHL is what's also making this so different and helping to aid to the success of the PWHL this time around. And we've heard DG Marvin talk about it. We've heard Hillary Knight talk about it. We've heard women who have been a part of 3 different professional hockey leagues for women. They just weren't exactly sustainable. So to see that not only is it sustainable, you're getting cities that are getting a team back, you're getting cities that are getting a team for the first time, and there's conversations of like, how do we continue to keep this going? And I just keep watching, because there was just like the sold out crowds and attendances, like the amount of girls that want to play hockey, and like the girl camps that are becoming a part of NHL organizations. Like Pat Maroon is coaching girls at the Tampa Bay Lightning right now. So it's just like, just keep watching. It's just going to continue to get bigger and better, and the expansion teams are hopefully going to keep popping up, and this is going to turn into even more of a competitive and outstanding league that we hope it to be.
Definitely. I think that having that like men's pro league that is one of the big 3, right, in the NHL to back something like this is huge. I think that's like the number one indicator of this is going to do really well.
Yeah.
And it's going to succeed because you have that backing. But let's get to the NWSL. I have Run the World Girls by Beyonce. The NWSL has reported that 30 countries are represented across the league. And I'm like, okay, extremely international. What's better than saying literally run the world? Because that's what they're doing with this league. And not only is soccer a very international sport, but just to name some of the countries, obviously USA, South Korea, Australia, Mexico, Brazil, Spain, Jamaica, to name a few. So kind of wild. And this league is just dominant all over the country. And even some of the best players, Rebecca Bernal, Washington Spirit defender from Mexico, Lorena, Kansas City's goalkeeper, Brazil. And then you got Barbara Banda from Orlando Pride, the reigning champions, forward. And I'm like, okay, just looking at this league as a whole, yes, there are international players across all leagues that we're talking about. But I think if there was ever a song to describe the NWSL, it would have to be Run the World Girls.
Yeah, I think it's funny because like I don't know if anything is as extensively international as soccer. You know what I mean? And like one can almost pitch hockey considering, but like soccer's very much up there with just how many countries are involved to such an extensive level. So I love that. There was really no competing with Run the World because it's just like it's all encompassing. But then I just, rather than big picture, narrowed it out. When you talk soccer terms, when you're learning about your new teammates, like one of the bonding things that we always had was just like little dances, because they always say like in soccer, like loosen your hips, you're dancing, like I need to see you dancing. A lot of coaches mention that as a kind of a metaphor because of how methodical you have to be with the ball in order to be competitive. So I chose Para Conmigo with Selena Gomez because it's newer rather than some of the ones that show my age, but that's one that I went with.
I'm all into what, like Love Song, oh, it's Magic. I'll throw you back to where was really placed. I got you on Selena Gomez.
There we go.
Yeah.
You just
years ago.
out there, threw it out there years ago. So.
Sorry, that was like a deep-rooted like Disney love that I had that just came out when Casey said that.
I love it though. Was a Disney gal myself, but there's that, and then of course, like a huge part of soccer culture is the Hispanic culture as well. So nice little melody. It's like I said, whenever you got together with a new team, it was just like always like Spanish music. It was bonding with your teammates. It was dancing, whether it was like cute or ugly. And most soccer players like were hideous dancers. But yeah, dance with the ball. Keep dancing. Keep doing the international thing.
I like it. All right. Well, finally, we have the AUSL. Okay, this is the new softball league that started last year, and I got Summertime by Kenny Chesney. All right, whenever I think of softball or baseball, I associate it with summer. I associate it with country music, and one of the first lines in the song is that old ballpark man back in gear, and it's only a 7-week series in the summertime. And so really it's like, okay, we got to jam pack these games, we got to jam pack these leagues into the summertime. And so it's a serotonin song, and if you watch any social media videos or even watch a game, the women in this league have a lot of fun doing it. And it's a very, not that they're not intense and really into what they're doing, because I so believe that's what it is, because they're committing so much time to it and sacrificing probably so much. They have a very lightheartedness about them and a very quiet and genuine spirit about them. And there's another line that says the temperature says 93, and tomorrow night they'll be in Wichita, Kansas, and it's right up there in the 90s. So I think in all the summertime and even the weather, I mean, I checked the weather in Wichita, so we're going to say that this is the right song
100%
for the softball league.
100%. 100%. It's so funny. Yes, Kenny Chesney and baseball hand in hand. Like all the baseball guys at UCF, like that's all they listen to. Funny enough, the song, it was always Boys of the Summer or American Kids.
Yep.
And Skull Dip and Sunflower Seeds. So very fitting across the board for softball as well. For me on this one, I needed that, but like you said, uplifting when you mentioned this. So Brazil by Declan McKenna is what I chose for this one. And I just love the fact that it's like to show the country that you're from is where the world should want to be. So like with it being on the newer side, like I feel like while they're being lighthearted about it, they're showing people that like, okay, now we're going to be another professional league that all eyes need to be on. And they're doing it in just such a fun, inviting, welcome in, come watch the show manner. And like, what do we say for baseball? The big show. Like same thing for softball, like come watch and enjoy the show. So I thought that like the Brazil, like it's such a poppy, uplifting, fun song, and it feels very summery as well.
Definitely. And very uplifting, goes along with the colors and the marketing and the branding and the jerseys that we've seen from this new league. So let's get into a little bit more and learn about this Athletes Unlimited softball league. And Athletes Unlimited has been around for a while now. They actually started the first women's pro league that doesn't really exist anymore because they transitioned to the WLL to follow more of the PLL model, but they have a women's volleyball league too, and it's really cool because they really played up the colorfulness and they really played up the marketing and how they do social media, which is fun. But here's a little of what you need to know for the league. It features 4 teams: the Bandits, Blaze, Talons, and Volt. It's a 24-game season with 10 to 12 cities finishing in the best of 3 championship in late July. So you got to start watching because it's going to come and go right before our eyes. The season began last weekend, and Saturday saw 2 sold-out crowd stadiums, which is just so cool. But this is kind of going back to what we were talking about with the NHL's presence in the PWHL. The league is overseen by the commissioner, Kim Ang, who is a former MLB GM with other softball legends as well. But these MLB ties, I think, are really key because not only are you offering great wisdom and insight into what the MLB does, but you're also just giving financial backing, and you have a broadcast infrastructure. And I mean, I've even seen Instagram stories be put up of, hey, on the MLB network today, this is a great graphic. We have, all these MLB games, and then also the softball league. Like, check it out, 7:30 p.m. Like, I think that's so awesome. And yes, it's not taking over this graphic, but it's there and it's present. And I think that's a huge reason why it's going to succeed.
Oh, absolutely, because it's going to pull over fans from MLB to either be curious or just like encouraged to see what's going on the softball side of things. And funny because like it can be so synergistic in a sense of just kind of like teaching fans more about the sport, and like you learn a lot about softball where you kind of look at things differently when you're watching baseball here and there. Like my dad played baseball in the Air Force and was so big on it, and my eldest sister actually was like a pretty insane softball player. And I remember like and certain evenings when my dad would be like done with his assignments and stuff like that, like he'd either go umpire or play. And then everybody from that crowd from watching baseball would go watch the softball games that would take place. So it's just like, it's almost its own world in a sense. Like if you already have the confidence to watch a baseball game and to be so in tune with it, like just sticking into that realm and just like going from game to game to game and piecing softball in the mix of it is just like, it's very cool to see.
Definitely. And I think the fun part too about just grabbing different fan bases and different people is that this league has really capitalized so far off of the college fan bases. And that's what you have to do. It's kind of like what we've seen and how much Iowa has taken on this Fever team, right?
Yes.
There's some graphics that we have of just these fans at these softball games absolutely loving the girls that they followed in college and getting to watch them play. And it's so fun because you're not having to like create a new fan base, right? Like you can get to follow and watch those players. You only get 4 years of watching them in college.
That's true.
So I think it's really fun. And I think that not only having the backing of the MLB, but having the ability to capitalize on a fan base like Oklahoma, like Alabama, like LSU, now like Texas Tech, and Texas. So I'm excited to follow along with this softball league.